Hi guys, I have a great deal of respect for people on the left who go on right-wing TV shows like GB News or Talk TV to try and push back on a narrative. Now, Matthew Torbitt, a former Labour advisor, went on GB News here to talk about family hubs. This is a plan that the new Labour government have put out where they're going to provide free meals to people, a sort of restaurant, not really a restaurant, and a hub for advice. But of course, the right-wing panel is completely against the idea. Have a listen.
Help us out here, because we feel like we're living in a parallel universe.
What would you advise them, Matt? What would you say? Look, come on, you're a former advisor.
It wasn't on my bingo card during the general election, I must admit. I will say, in some level of defence, that 500 million meals were served during what was essentially nationalised restaurants during World War II, and they were seen as good, nutritious, and helped all manner of diseases being in.
We were in a world war.
No, I agree. It's not the greatest, sort of thing to be comparing it to. But I think there's a stigma where I think this is better than a food bank. And I think my understanding is that they will have other things in there, such as advice on benefits and whatever else. If it's it's not a restaurant per se. I think it's somewhere where you can go and get a cheap hot meal.
It's like a soup kitchen, but
without the stigma of a soup kitchen. This is exactly it. So I think I do appreciate the impact.
Pubs and restaurants out of business in that area.
Okay, but it's not putting restaurants. So what they're talking about, my goodness, these people are pathetic. It's about providing meals for poor people. Now, poor people generally will not go to restaurants. Okay? They may go for some fish and chips if they can afford it from time to time, but this is not about... Oh my goodness, the right-wing commentators are like, if you provide poor people with free meals, you're going to put restaurants out of business. No, you're not. It's generally working people who earn a sufficient wage. Like, if you don't have enough money, you're not going to go to a restaurant. If you have enough money, you're going to go to a restaurant. So if somebody provides free meals at a family hub or a community hub, that's not going to damage restaurants.
I don't think this will go further than 2 pilots. This becomes almost impossible to bring up on a national scale.
Why are they waiting?
Because I think if you can identify pinch points where there is severe deprivation in certain parts of the country, then you may put it somewhere like that.
But the pinch points have been identified. We have more knowledge and more access to nutrition information than ever, yet we're fatter than ever. I'm sorry, I think the government should do what they have been tasked to do from the beginning, which is to secure our borders and to make sure that the economy doesn't ground to a halt.
So the government's only job is to close the borders, control the borders. Well, the borders are controlled, and grow the economy or stop the economy from grinding to a halt. That's the only job of government. It's not to provide public services. It's not to have a police force. It's not to have an NHS. It's not to have any of these things. No, it's just the border and the economy. Do these people pretend to be stupid? Or is it like they have a list and they say, I have to inject these talking points whenever I appear on GB News?
I don't think it's their priority to be looking at overweight children and thinking, oh gosh, how can I put the kind of food I want in your mouth? That's parents' responsibilities. But guess what? Their parents are broke and frustrated and they're paying taxes and want the bare minimum sorted. That is...
Sorry, paying taxes for what? For public services. But also... what's taxation got to do with this? We're talking about a pilot project, where the poorest people in society are given advice on benefits and given a free meal, a hot meal. What's that got to do with taxation? What's that got to do with immigration?
That is the frustration. They can have all the good intentions they want in the world, but I'm sorry, there is no reason why we should be shelling out £8 billion a day in asylum hotels, and yet they're putting money behind these pointless trials.
And I think that is the fundamental point. We've got state-funded breakfasts, state-funded school meals, now state-funded restaurants. Give people low enough taxes, they can buy their own...
Oh, God. Okay. This is the crux of the problem with the likes of GB News and Talk TV. They exist, as I keep saying, to push a narrative that taxation is terrible. We need to reduce taxes. Because who benefits when taxes are reduced? Do you think it's the poorest people in society? No, it's of course the richest in society. So these people exist for one purpose, I believe. To push narratives that at the end of the day benefit the richest people in society. Now, the ironic thing is they're probably not rich people themselves. So, they won't benefit greatly from a reduction in taxation. But the people they're speaking up for certainly will. We never see these people, unfortunately. But they don't need to be seen because they have some sycophant doing their job for them. Reduce taxes. Okay, well, how are poor people, who in many cases may not be paying taxes because they're not working, how would reduced taxes help those people? It doesn't. Okay, it's not designed to help those people. This talk of reduce taxes, cut taxes. Many people are on universal credit. Many people who are working, yes, are paying taxes. But if you reduce their taxes, then they're not going to benefit in any real way. They need money. If you give people money, it lifts them out of poverty. I know that sounds shocking, but that's the reality. Project after project, pilot project after pilot project, initiative after initiative have pointed to that. Give people money. It doesn't have to be a huge amount. Give people some money and you will lift them out of poverty. Schemes like providing free meals and giving people advice and stuff like that, yes, but it's a sticking plaster. It may help in some cases, but if you actually give people cash, they're better off. But the right wing hate this idea because it's taking money from the rich and it's giving to the poor, and they certainly don't want that. I have a respect for Matt here, who's trying to push back, but you can't reason people out of a position that they haven't been reasoned into. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.